What are some of the important principles to consider when you're in a disagreement with your partner?
Okay, so I say 3 tips, right? First and foremost, you have to remember that you are not the problem and your partner is not the problem. The problem is the problem. And it's up to the 2 of you to work together on the same team in order to resolve that problem. That's first and foremost, okay? Secondly, what's important, you cannot win a battle without losing the war. The minute that you were pitted against your partner in a conflict, if you won, that means they lost and ultimately your relationship loses. So you never, ever want to be in that position. And then last but not least, when somebody tells you that you've hurt them, you don't get to decide that you didn't. And so if you don't respond to your partner's hurts and wounds in a relationship, you will lose them and your relationship every time.
That's real. All right, let's help some folks out here. Where's Belinda and Matthew?
Here.
All right. Okay, so tell us what's going on.
Matthew and I are newlyweds, and we've been married for 8 months, so we're still working on our communication skills. Sometimes when we're in an argument or a disagreement, I express to Matthew how his actions or what he did, how it makes me feel, and instead of acknowledging that, he instead brings up something similar that I did to him in a previous argument, and he doesn't acknowledge my feelings. So my question is, how can I get Matthew to validate my feelings and not bring up past hurts when we're in an argument or disagreement?
Okay.
Okay, so we actually have a video that was recorded as an example of a typical argument between you. Let's take a look.
But I just need him to make a little bit more of an effort to pick up the dirty clothes and put it in the basket.
Yeah, but I mean, I just did the dishes and I took out the trash, and you don't acknowledge me when I do things like that. And I think that's really frustrating. I'm tired, I had a long day, and then I come home and I go and take out the trash and I do the dishes, and you don't acknowledge that. You've only acknowledged the things that I don't do, and I don't think that's fair.
And not acknowledge you leaving your clothes on the floor, even though I'm the one making sure all of your clothes are washed. That's what I'm hearing. Is that what you're saying?
It's just like one pair of clothes. Like, it's fine, just go do it now.
No, that's not what, okay.
Okay, so this is a common problem.
Okay, hold on. Let me hear what, Matthew, what do you have to say?
Well, for me, I think my wife just thinks that I'm way too emotional all the time. And so my question to you both is, what do I need to do to get her to understand where I'm coming from and to not mimic or mock me so that I don't shut down or that the argument gets, way more heated?
So believe it or not, you guys are not having the same argument. You're asking him to do something and you're arguing about the fact that you don't feel acknowledged and appreciated in the relationship. So first and foremost, you have to learn effective communication. When I'm talking to you, the next thing should not be necessarily for you to respond, but to respond back with what you think you heard. That way you know that you're on the same page and that you're actually having the same conversation, okay? So it's very easy. We have a problem, we have potential solutions, and then we have to work together to decide which solution we together are going to choose. If you never get to the solution, but you keep going back to the problem, it will haunt your marriage for its entirety. You have a real issue with not feeling validated and heard. That's its own problem. How do you show up for each other and resolve that in the marriage? Then deal with the responsibilities of household chores and domestics later on. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, hold on. So I'm trying to understand how this work here. Cause you're not finna, see, my wife not finna mimic me. She not gonna do that to me. Cause I'm her husband. I'm her king. You gonna respect the fact that I'm king, just like I have to respect the fact that you my queen. This is a king-queen setup here. Y'all been married 8 months. Where y'all going with this? This finna get worse, man. This ain't gonna survive. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Y'all here at 8 months, there's no way this can survive. Both of y'all owe yourself some apology. Spirit said something that was really, really cool. And Marjorie and I do this all the time. When we get to a point where we just can't come to the conclusion about the argument, we slow down and we go, okay, Steve, tell me what you said and I'm gonna tell you what I heard. And whenever we do that, What she said is not what I heard. And what I said is not what she heard. Now, she always has to tell me, Steve, don't raise your voice at me. I don't work for you. She checks me real quick. And I got to remember, she my queen. So why am I hollering at the queen? Where's Lizette and Andrew?
Right here.
Hey, guys, tell us what's happening.
So I love Andrew so much, I do, but I feel like we don't properly know how to get our opinions across to each other when we argue. I feel like he's stubborn, which makes me even more angry with him. Sometimes when we get into arguments, it feels like the argument is going nowhere, and one of us ends up sleeping on the couch because of it. When I'm trying to convey my point across to him, he'll usually interrupt me and just not let me get a word in and finish. And I do know that I have a bit of a bad temper. I lose my temper with him sometimes, but it's usually because he's not listening to me or he's not letting me talk, and he talks over me, so, yeah.
And if I don't get a word in, it's almost as if I can't express myself properly to her, and then she starts getting a temperament, and then she turns into a rageaholic, and sometimes she'll like throw stuff against the wall, and I'm trying to explain myself best as I can, but she just has a different way of not calming down the way I want to.
Well, you two recently had an argument about Andrew damaging your car.
Oh,
Oh boy, yeah.
Let's take a look and see what happened.
The right-hand
Yes,
side came
it
off.
did.
I noticed that. I pointed it out
Exactly,
to you.
but you make it seem like I made that happen.
You came around and you forced it in, Andrew. Why did you do that? Because now the piece is broken. I can't even find it. I don't even know where it's at right now.
My point is that if it was already broken, I shouldn't have touched it. But
Right,
if
you
it was
shouldn't
already,
have touched
if
it.
it was already,
But why did you touch it? Why did you touch
because
it?
I was trying to fix it and I shouldn't have touched it, but it was already broken. But you can't see.
It wasn't broken, Andrew. Don't you understand? It was still going into the back. And all I want is an apology. And what do you think you want?
You want more than just an apology.
Well, yeah, I want like half and half of the back of my
See?
bumper, but
Okay.
you can't get that, right?
I'm just curious, how do you guys feel when you see yourselves in that playback?
It's like, are we really in love?
No, we are. Okay, come on, give me a break.
Okay, so there's something that happens when you guys fight, and it's interesting because first and foremost, I tell people you cannot change what you will not acknowledge, right? So I heard you say, I get a little bit of a temper, and it's a little, and you kind of laughed it off, like, and he's saying, no, she's a full-on rageaholic, and in that playback there, you could see like, did you recognize yourself? Because here you look so sweet, so simple. And there you look like you say the wrong thing and I'm about to take your head off in this conversation.
Yeah.
Which one is she closer to when you guys are arguing?
I mean, that's a pretty good example of how she acts on camera. Well, I try to explain myself to her and then it turns into a childish mess sometimes. And
well, that's my question though. Why are you explaining yourself to her? You're a grown man.
I'm not trying to live up to her.
Right? So it's almost like, watching that, I'm serious. To me, I'm almost like the child, like, Mommy, Daddy, please don't fight. Because she's just going in and you're like, no, please listen to me. No, well, what I was trying to do, well, what I meant to do is.
You're right. I shouldn't have a chance. I shouldn't have to defend myself to somebody that I love. It just doesn't make any sense.
This is a really unhealthy way of solving problems in a relationship. And at the end of the day, you will lose the entire war, which is the war for your relationship, if you don't change this dynamic quickly.
Let me ask you a question. Honestly, just the two of you can answer this. Do you think the majority of the time that you find yourself arguing about something that's really not important?
All the time. It's always something really silly, something small like that.
It's madness for two people to live together to be this way. Both of y'all keep trying to be right.
Yep.
We have to listen to each other more often.
No,
It's
man.
how we listen to each other.
Oh, y'all not married?
Not yet, no.
Don't do it, Steve. Don't do it.
Here we go.
Okay.
We ain't got signed this. Break up.
So he said, no. So, okay,
Come on.
so.
Break up.
No. Let
Break up.
me
Go
say this.
home. They ain't got no, y'all got kids?
No.
Not yet.
Break up
Okay.
now.
Okay, so listen.
Run. Y'all like makeup sex. That's what it is.
Oh my God!
Why are you still trying to help them?
Because I truly believe, here's the benefit to this, right?
Yeah, Pat.
While it's gonna be a lot of work for them,
They arguing about everything.
do you all want help?
Yeah.
If you were to sit in counseling, here's the good thing about this, that in every relationship, if you learn how to work things out, a marriage or a long-term relationship will stretch you and grow you in ways that you never thought. This really makes a lovely relationship if the two of you can do what you need
It's
to
like
do to grow
organized
each
chaos.
other. You have to figure out how to come to the middle.
Yeah.
You have to come to the middle. Call me.
I want to thank my girl Spirit for being just a super counselor here.
I got you.
We'll be right back, everybody. Hey, you made it to the end of this video. I got a lot more that you're going to enjoy, so just click to watch the next one. And make sure you subscribe to always know what's happening.